All right, old school NBA fans, self-research, NBA facts. Got another video for you. As always, thanks to anybody who watches my videos, subscribes to my channel. I really appreciate it. In this video here, we're talking about championship opportunities. I've talked about this in the past. In my mind, a very good shot at a championship, like a truly legitimate one, is either being the number one seed, so you have home court advantage throughout, and you being an all-time great, you should reach the finals as a number one seed. You just should. And the other one was if you're in the finals, regardless of your seed, you're in the championship round, you're an all-time great. How is that not a legitimate shot at a championship? Well, what about just a shot? Meaning you're in the playoffs. So just like the NCAA tournament, they let in like 68 teams now, whatever it is. It's hard to win 6 single elimination games to a championship. It just is. Playing a series allows you to have a bad game here or there and still win the series. But even still, if you're in the playoffs, you have a shot, regardless of what the odds are. So I'm going to go over my top 25 and how they stacked up when they were in the dance, in the playoffs. How many actual championships did they rattle off when they were in the dance? I did not include series in which a player played like 1 or 2 games out of a 6-game series or something like that. That just seemed ridiculous. There's a couple, like Elgin Baylor had one, Jerry West had 2. There was a few like that you didn't really legitimately ever have a shot because you weren't even in the playoffs, to be honest with you. You were barely in it. But if you played a few rounds, well, that's different. You were in there, you got hurt during the playoffs, deep into the playoffs. That's just a tough break. But there's no way to really distinguish how somebody would have done if had they been in there. You can't tell. Starting with Elgin Baylor. Elgin Baylor had 11 playoff runs in his career. He had 0 championships. So obviously his title, the playoff run percentage, is 0%. Giannis, 9 playoff runs, won 1 championship. So his percentage is 11.1. Nikola Jokic has had 7 playoff runs. Now, I look at missing the playoffs as a definite negative. I think that was like 5th or 6th of my criterias when I rank players. You can't be missing the playoffs several times and then think that you're just like anybody else. I don't think so. All-time greats need to make the playoffs. Nikola Jokic has had 7 playoff runs so far. His first 3 years, he didn't even make the playoffs. That is a black mark I hold against him. It's not a huge one, but a black mark nonetheless. 1 championship for Jokic, so he's at 14.28%. Kevin Durant has had 13 playoff runs, 2 championships, 15.38%. So these percentages for these guys, not real high. David Robinson, 12 playoff runs, 2 championships, 16.66%. That's at least the best of the 5 names that I've had so far. Bob Pettit had 9 playoff runs, only 1 championship, 11.1%. Now I realize he was battling the Lakers and the Celtics basically his whole career. Maybe a few years before Jerry West got there, but Boston his entire career essentially. That's going to be tough. But he did beat Boston in 1958. That's got to count for something. But as it stands, 11.1% for Bob Pettit. Kevin Garnett, 14 playoff runs, 1 championship, 7.14%. That's pretty low. Karl Malone, 19 playoff runs, 0 championships, 0%. George Mikan, 7 playoff runs, 5 championships. That's outstanding. That's 71.42% of his playoff runs were turned into championships. That's awesome. Oscar Robertson, 10 playoff runs, 1 championship, 10%. Moses Malone, 13 playoff runs, 1 championship, 7.69%. I always thought Moses should have got at least 1 more. Moses didn't really have that kind of a team other than 83 through 86, those 4 years he played with Philadelphia. I know there were some injuries to some players and whatnot. Even Moses himself, I believe it was in 86. But I always thought they should have did more than 1 championship. They were just so loaded. And that 1983 team was ridiculous. I got him in as a top 5 all-time team. People push back on that all the time. You're never going to convince me otherwise. That team was nuts. They swept the Lakers in 1983. You know how hard that was to do? It took a monumental effort from a great team to do that. 7.69% for Moses. It's low. Steph Curry, 10 playoff runs, 4 championships, 40%. That's really good. That's really high. It's going to be one of the higher ones for sure. Jerry West, 11 playoff runs, 1 championship. That's 9.09%. LeBron James, 18 playoff runs, 4 championships, 22.22%. Dr. J, 16 playoff runs, 3 championships, 18.75%. And before anybody starts that ABA nonsense, everybody looks at Kareem's championship as if they were just straight up. The ABA had about, 40% of the best players in that league. NBA probably had about 60%. You cannot discount the ABA any more than you would have to discount the NBA from basically, 68 through 76, those 9 years? Yeah, so if you want to discount Kareem, you go right ahead. I just leave it in there as if it's its own league. I don't know how else to treat it. Otherwise, sometimes when I do it, I treat it as if it was a conference. Maybe that makes more sense. But to discount it altogether, yeah, you can't do that. Shaquille O'Neal, 16 playoff runs, 4 championships. That's 25%. That's excellent. Tim Duncan, 18 playoff runs, 5 championships, 27.77%. Hakeem Olajuwon, 15 playoff runs, 2 championships, 13.33%. Wilt Chamberlain, 13 playoff runs, 2 championships, only 15.38%. Definitely low for a guy of his caliber. But yeah, I know Boston was tough, but his team was no slouch itself. He had some great players on his team his whole career. Larry Bird, I count 11 playoff runs. 89, he was injured, didn't even play in the playoffs. In 1992, Larry Bird did not play in the first round at all. And he only played parts of 2 or 3 games of a 7-game series. Hard to count 1992 either. So in my mind, Larry Bird had 11 playoff runs. He won 3 championships, which is good for 27.27%, which is very good. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, 18 playoff runs, 6 championships, 33.33%. And yeah, I get it. Kareem played with Magic, played with Oscar, so he should have a high percentage. No doubt about it. This is for the guys that should have won more, or the guys that overachieved, that maybe they shouldn't even have won that many based on the teammates they had and the competition in their conference, finals, combined, whatever. Kobe Bryant, 15 playoff runs, 5 championships, 33.33%, the same exact as Kareem. Kareem played with Magic, Kobe played with Shaq. But somehow, and I don't know why this is, Kobe playing with Shaq is somehow worse or diminishes Kobe's legacy more than Kareem playing with Magic? Yeah, I don't think so. Or even the other way around. Magic Johnson, 13 playoff runs, 5 championships. That's good for 38.46%, which is amazing. And he played with Kareem also. But again, how is that worse than Kobe playing with Shaq? Shaq was not better than Kareem. He was not better than Magic. So I don't even know why that is a thing. I don't get that at all. And here's the thing. If you're saying, well, if Kobe and Shaq play together, they got to win. They did. They won a three-peat. What's the problem? What's to diminish? What's to debate about? Kobe Bryant won 2 championships away from Shaq. We all know this. But even with Shaq in those years, no, Kobe didn't win Finals MVP because Shaq was allowed to run roughshod over Rick Smits, Dikembe Mutombo, and Todd McAuliffe. They weren't calling all those offensive fouls, and because they didn't, they just kept feeding Shaq the ball. Why wouldn't they? And he just kept dunking on everybody's heads. He won the Finals MVP. Great. You think Kobe played bad In 2000, his stats were not great, but he made some key plays that put the series away when they went up 3-1. Absolutely, he was vital. And then you look at those conference finals, I would say it was at least a tie, if not even Kobe was a little better in all the conference finals combined, at least during their championship years. Bill Russell, 13 playoff runs, 11 championships. That's good for 84.61%. Unbelievable. Michael Jordan, 13 playoff runs, 6 championships. Good for 46.15%. Now, if you rank these players, last place out of the 25, Karl Malone and Elgin Baylor tied for last. So essentially that's like tying for 24th. You got Kevin Garnett was 23rd. Moses Malone was 22nd. Jerry West was 21st. Oscar Robertson was 20th. Bob Pettit and Giannis are tied for 18th. Hakeem Olajuwon was 16th. Nikola Jokic, 15th, believe it or not. Tied for 14th is Kevin Durant and Wilt Chamberlain. That's kind of crazy. 13th place is David Robinson. 12th place, Dr. J. 11th, LeBron James. 10th is Shaq. 9th, Larry Bird. 8th, Tim Duncan. Tied for 6th, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Kobe Bryant. 5th, Magic Johnson. 4th, Steph Curry. 3rd, Michael Jordan, because he was a winner.
They don't. For the second straight year, they go out in 6. Stockton. Harper's on him. Behind the screen. Harper got a piece of it. It comes off. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship, and it's their second three-peat.
Number 2, George Mikan. And I wish that I could have put Mikan higher. I wish that it would have fell in place for him to be in the top 10 because he deserved it. But his peak just was not long enough. And I didn't really have much on his competition. There was those kind of things like durability and all that because he just didn't play long enough. But man, did he have some amazing numbers. But he was also a winner.
Gun goes off and the game is over. The Lakers are victorious in the first bill for the Basketball World Series, winning 79-68.
Even though that video is old and, there wasn't too much there, but you got the message. That was the 1954 World Championship where the Lakers won it over Syracuse. And number 1 is Bill Russell. 13 playoff runs, 11 championships, good for 84.61% of the time. Number 1, because Bill Russell was also a winner.
And Baylor puts it in there with a second to go. Cousy throws it high in the air, and the Boston Celtics are the world champions. That's the end of the game. With the final score, Celtics 112, the Lakers 109.
Playoff series wins to championship ratio. So how many playoff series wins to championships? If it's super far apart, semi-failure, I would think. Elgin Baylor won 14 out of 24 playoff series, so his ratio is 14-0 because he had no championships. Giannis, 16 playoff series, 8 wins. That's an 8-1 ratio because he won 1 title. Nikola Jokic in 16 playoff series, 10 wins. He won 1 championship, so he's 10-1 ratio. Kevin Durant, 32 playoff series. He won 21 of them, won 2 championships, so he's 10.5-1. David Robinson, 26 playoff series, won 16, 2 championships, so he's 8-1. Bob Pettit, 16 playoff series, 8 wins, 8-1 ratio because he has 1 championship. Kevin Garnett, 26 playoff series. He won half of them, 13. So he's 13-1 with his 1 championship. Karl Malone, 38 playoff series, 19 wins. So he's 19-0 because he has no championships. George Mikan, again, 19 playoff series. He won 17 of them, 5 championships. So that's 3.4 playoff series wins to 1 championship ratio. So 3.4 playoff series wins to every championship. That's a very high number. Oscar Robertson, 18 playoff series, 8 wins, 1 championship, so he's 8-1. Moses Malone, 22 playoff series, 10 wins, he's 10-1. Steph Curry, out of 27 playoff series, he's won 22 of them. That's a 5.5-1 ratio. That's really good. One of the best winners, no doubt about it. Kevin Durant joining his team definitely hurt him in a lot of people's eyes. If he never would have had KD, he would have won one of those 2017 or 18 or something. He's got 3 away from KD. Man, would Curry would have done wonders for his legacy. Jerry West, 26 playoff series. He won 16, but only 1 championship means he's 16-1. LeBron James, you can ignore that graphic. 55 playoff series for LeBron. He won 41. He won 4 championships. So that comes to 10.25-1. That's actually lower than Giannis, Nikola Jokic, about the same as Kevin Durant, believe it or not. Dr. J, 37 playoff series. He won 24 of them, 3 championships. That's an 8-1 ratio. Shaq, 43 playoff series. He won 31 of them. That's 7.75-1 because he won 4 championships out of those 31 wins. That's pretty good. Tim Duncan, out of 48 playoff series, won 35 of them. So that's exactly 7-1 because he's got 5 championships. Hakeem Olajuwon, 29 playoff series. He won 16, 2 championships, so that's 8-1. Wilt Chamberlain, 29 playoff series. 18 of them he won. That's a 9-1 ratio with the 2 championships. Larry Bird, out of 32 playoff series, he won 23 of them. That's 7.66-1 because of his 3 championships. That's good. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, 49 playoff series. He won 37 of them. With the 6 championships, that's 6.16-1. So you're starting to see some pretty good numbers down here. Kobe Bryant, he's pretty close to all these guys. 43 playoff series, won 33 of them. That's a 6.6-1 ratio with the 5 rings that he has. Magic Johnson, 40 playoff series. He won 32 of them. Because he won 5 championships, that's a 6.4-1 ratio. All those guys, Kobe, Bird, Kareem, Magic, they're all virtually tied with one another. Then you got Bill Russell. Out of 29 playoff series, he won 27, 2.45-1. You're going to find that to be the best. Now, I get it. Bill Russell and all the other old players didn't play all the series that the other guys did before the merger. And that's why I put the asterisk in here. So that has to be taken into consideration. So when a player like Kobe Bryant is just as good as Kareem or thereabouts, you got to say advantage Kobe. And then Michael Jordan, in his 37 playoff series, he won 30 of them, won 6 championships. So that's a ratio of 5-1. Again, Mikan, Russell, Jordan, the best winners on here. Curry is 4th. And then you got the mixture of Magic, Kobe, Kareem, Bird. These are typically the best ratios, like with everything else. And that's why these guys are at the tops of my list. They're definitely a big part of the reason why these guys are always towards the top of my list. Now, there's a lot of other things that went into it. But winning, when you had the chance to do it, was definitely a big deal. Anyway, that's all I got for this video. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked it, please hit the like button. If you wouldn't mind sharing the video, that would be great. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. I give daily content, and that's it. Until next time.